On this episode of Just In Case You Forgot, I finally make it to Delaware County to meet Detective Bessinger and Ashley.
Bessinger, man. Yeah.
No, I kind of remember like it was yesterday. They had a white tent set up there in the corner, and it was kind of a makeshift. I don't know. Our BCI agent was kind of looking at the bones under the tent and stuff.
Listen to that now on this episode of Just In Case You Forgot, Season 2, Delaware County.
Why here? We don't know.
Just In Case You Forgot podcast is produced and hosted by William Swafford. Music was put together by William Swafford.
I cross over the Delaware County line and I drive east on State Route 37. I stop and pull over when I get to the intersection of State Route 37 and State Route 257. I was a few miles south of where Stacey's remains were found. As I sat and waited for Detective Bessinger, I received a message from Ashley saying she's up the road. I explained that I was meeting Detective Bessinger at the intersection. I was only there for a few minutes when a Delaware County Sheriff's vehicle pulled over on the side of the road. I figured I'd either drawn the attention of Delaware County law enforcement or it had to be Detective Bessinger.
Bessinger, man. Yeah.
We shake hands and Detective Bessinger explains to me that the spot is up the road about 5 to 6 miles. Here's where I feel like a fool. I explained to Detective Bessinger Ashley was on the way to meet us at the intersection. He says that we could go ahead and head up to the spot. I thought I sent a text to Ashley saying that we were heading up to the spot. However, Ashley did not get that text because I had sent it to the wrong person. I had sent it to Detective Bessinger. I followed Detective Bessinger to a house that was across the road from where Stacey was found back in 2004. We parked in the driveway, that way our vehicles would be off the road. Detective Bessinger and I stood in the driveway and talked.
It's directly across the street there, almost where the woods come together. 20 years ago, this wasn't as grown up as it is today. I don't know how close we'll be able to get to the river with the brush, but I kind of remember like it was yesterday. They had a white tent set up there in the corner, and it was kind of a makeshift. I don't know. Our BCI agent was kind of looking at the bones under the tent and stuff, but my job at the time is I sat out here on the road and we just recorded every license plate that went by us. Interesting thing is we are just a stone's throw away from the next county.
Oh, really?
Marion County's just up the road here. I always wonder why this spot,
Yeah.
It's so remote, kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Don't look any different than anywhere else in Ohio.
No, yeah.
Same cornfields.
Yeah.
And
Now, this was an area I was told by a deputy friend that I have at the office that was a party area back in the day.
Yeah.
Local kids would kind of get together and they drink and smoke at the river here. But, I don't know.
Now, does the river connect to the road, or does it keep going
It
that
keeps
way?
going north. Yeah, the next road over is actually called River Road, and when we get a lot of rain, that road floods, and it's not even passable because the road runs right beside it's the Scioto River is what it is. But yeah, it's runs all the way north. So there's a new wastewater, I think some sort of like wastewater treatment plant real close up here, or a water plant or something the county built not long ago. And I don't know if that water helps feed that or not, but I remember it was beans. I don't know if this is corn now. It was beans back in the day.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was November. It was beans the following spring when we came out. So
I couldn't help but wish that the vehicles would stop passing by as we were talking. I asked Detective Bessinger if he thought that we were maybe 100 yards from where Stacey was found back in November of 2004.
The report describes it 100 yards northeast of this address.
Okay.
I remember that white tent right there where the woods kind of L's.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right in the middle there.
Ashley meets up with us.
I'm Jeff Bessinger. I was
Hi.
the investigating detective, and I'm still on the case.
Yes, I'm
Hello.
Ashley. Hi, nice to meet you.
Unfortunately, I took a promotional test to help my retirement, and stuck me back on the road. But
Now you're back out here.
yeah, sure. It's given me the blessings to continue to work on the cases that I'm hold pretty dear to my heart, and this is one of them.
Nice.
We were talking though, so the interesting thing about this area that we're in,
Yeah.
we were just a stone's throw away from Marion County.
Yeah, like half a mile up
Yeah.
there.
Are
Like,
you
I've-
from the area here?
I'm not, but like
Okay.
I've driven around
Yeah.
up here a lot, and I've missed this exit a lot, and like gone up there.
Sure.
And like, yeah, I mean, it's like the perfect.
Detective Bessinger explained that he couldn't find any type of connection between Delaware County and anyone who they might have looked at during their investigation.
But we could never find we had a half dozen good suspects.
We stood in the driveway across the road from the spot where Stacey was found. We talked a little bit more.
This was not as overgrown as it is now. We can walk over that way if you want.
I know. When I walked back there like earlier, like, when
Yeah.
I called, like it was, you could totally see the ground and everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's way overgrown. now.
Yeah. So I was telling Bill here, then 20 years ago I was relatively new on the road here, and my job was I sat somewhere on this road and I record every license plate number. We took shifts. We had a deputy up here, deputy down there. So I wasn't involved in the investigation then, and then fast forward my career. The last 16 years I've been in the Bureau, and the last 10 on the Colbert case.
Okay.
But I remember like it was yesterday, there was a tent out here like in where the woods kind of joins. PCI had set up a forensic kind of checkpoint there. About 70% of her bones were recovered, including her skull. Early determination was that it was like a 40-year-old woman. They kind of messed up back in the day.
Yeah.
They said that, this is a 40-year-old woman, and it wasn't a week later till the dental work came back, and it came back to 23-year-old Stacey.
Right.
Why here? We don't know.
The man who lived in apartment C above Stacey at the Governor Square apartment complex was talked about.
But he changed his story. He lived directly upstairs. So,
Yes.
so the missing persons report, which Dateline got, said that he reported horrifying screams,
Yes.
crashing and banging noises, and
He
couldn't
changed
touch
his story because the media had a heyday and painted the picture that he might be responsible.
Oh, I thought for sure.
He-
They could not determine the cause of death from Stacey's bones.
Obviously, we don't have anything off Stacey's body because it's bones. There was no clothing found. There's two schools of thought on that. Did it disintegrate in the weather, or was she dumped nude? You know, there's like six one hand, half dozen the other, and what they feel like is possibilities on it. So,
None of the jewelry, any of that.
to this day, she's missing her sorority pendant. Why here, and why way out there? Some of her bones are still missing to this day. There's two schools of thought on that. Animals or the river carried her, farther downstream. Most of her bones were right there in that area, though, when they went through it.
Yeah. What about the
Um,
broken ankle?
On her,
Or the broken ribs?
I think that they played that off as damage post-mortem out here, yeah. But, God, man, there's just nothing to go off on it because of the remains, how it was found. A lot of times when we got a body, we got stab wounds. How I'd love to solve this, gosh.
We walked across the road and through the field towards the area Stacey was found. The audio gets a little messed up.
Tarp was like kind of over there.
Yeah, I remember it was out here, but
Yeah.
if the ground was frozen, it would have been nothing for him under the cover of darkness to, drive over there. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, it's the perfect spot because it's on this curve here. Like, the house, you really probably couldn't see once you turned the lights off up here.
In the houses in the area now, the like the newer ones down there obviously weren't there.
Yeah.
It's a lot more popular now, not real popular in Delaware County.
I asked how the hunter lost his dog in an area that he wasn't hunting in and a piece of property that he didn't own, and he was not associated with the landowners.
Claimed he was looking for his lost dog, his lost hunting dog.
We stopped where the field meets the tree line.
Can't tell you where the skull was found.
But it was like this general area.
Yeah, but this is a lot more grown up.
Right.
And it wasn't far. The Scioto River runs all the way over here. The next road over.
Like right there.
Yeah, the next road over is actually called River Road.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they just started. Finding more bones. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Why here? Why?
Ashley asked about the brush clear out that happened before Stacey was found in the area.
You don't think anything about the brush clearing then that was here in
The what?
The brush clearing that happened here in 99?
No, I mean, this is obviously, it's changed so much. I mean, you can tell there were no leaves out. But no, I mean, she was dumped here. She stayed here. I don't think her body ever got
somewhere else.
No, she wasn't stored anywhere. I always laugh and say if these people would leave the bodies in Franklin County, it'd never get solved, and this case would never even be getting worked on. We solve most of our homicides here. We have, and I consider ours true victims too, because they're housewives, college students, kids. Whereas the city of Columbus, a lot of those are drive-by shootings or drug deals or gangs-related stuff. But not that those aren't victims, but our people are, they're at home and shit happens to them. But,
different kind of.
I don't know. But I don't know if this helps or not.
But it's like, but just right beyond there, like the river swells basically to here. Like you put her in a place where she wasn't going to get taken.
And that's what I told Bill is when this floods. This road over here, it's called River Road, is impassable.
Yeah.
It is impassable. So there's a likelihood, too, that if she was buried, that she did surface with the water, go back down, I don't know. I don't know,
because she wasn't buried just under brush.
She could have been.
Okay.
She could have been. The bones that they found they were sifting through stuff, finding the additional bones. So, that could have been animals. That could have been, I don't know.
What kind of search radius did they do?
They did all this. They brought in the OSU anthropology students. They brought in a doctor. BCI had a bunch of team members. We had our whole bureau out here. City of Columbus was out here too because it was their baby until that day, But yeah, they scavenged all this because I think even though their thought was we got one body or there more, always. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's wild.
Yeah, it really is.
Sad.
And it's to be so close. Too.
I know.
That's what's so frustrating.
I know. I don't care who solved it. I just want it solved.
Right.
I'm not in it for the recognition by any means. I've gotten to know Stacey pretty good. Her dad's since died, her uncle's died, her mom's in Arizona, and she's getting older.
And it's just like Stacey or Rana and Danielle.
Yeah, Danielle's not what I meant if I said Stacey, but yeah.
Kind of all that's left.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
Yeah, I know.
Sad for them. It's thinking about when we did this back in the day, never thinking that it would get to be 25 years.
25 years.
Like it's insane.
I was telling Bill, one of the deputies at the office grew up in the area, and he said this area, when it wasn't so grown up, was a party area too.
We started to walk back to our vehicles. I asked Detective Bessinger how he thought the former Delaware County Sheriff handled his part of the investigation.
Yeah, Al was pro-investigations. He loved the detective, so I think he did well. Yeah, personally. But he didn't like playing with other agencies.
Really?
So a lot of times you thought, well, hey, reach out to the FBI or reach out to Homeland Security on others. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he liked keeping things in-house, but I don't know. I suppose he had his reasons, but I got along with the man. He was always good to me. He was a cop's cop. He didn't sit behind the desk. He'd come out, and you were out knocking on a door, he'd stop and help you. I don't know what else we could have done or should have done.
So how do they figure out how long remains have been there? What's that process like, do you know?
Well, with her, whether or not to determine whether or not she was dumped there, a lot of it is by, are they weathered? Do they look weathered?
Yeah.
Bodies are easy because they go through a stage of decomp. Yeah. Bones are a little harder. There was one anthropologist that thought that she couldn't have been out in the weather that long.
Really?
Yeah, that she had to have been moved. But the final, the final determination was that she was out there that whole time.
It was time to leave and to let Detective Bessinger get back to work.
Good finally meeting you.
Good meeting you.
Good meeting you, man.
Yes, good meeting you as well.
If you guys need something, holler.
On the next episode of Just In Case You Forgot, Delaware County, I talked to Ashley again over the phone to do a follow-up interview to see how she feels now after meeting Detective Bessinger in Delaware County.
It's frustrating at this point to know that you're so close, and it's got to be frustrating for him as well. But as he's saying, he's still working on it. We just gotta, keep Stacey's name out there, and hopefully somebody remembers something.
That and more is still to come on Just In Case You Forgot, Season 2, Delaware County.
Why here? We don't know.
Just In Case You Forgot podcast is produced and hosted by William Swafford. Music was put together by William Swafford.